Does it ever seem like the good times do not last in your life? Do you feel like you constantly go from valley to valley, and when you do feel like you have a mountaintops experience as a Christian, it doesn't seem to last long? And you're like, man, what happened to the good old days? I feel like in this time, the last few years have kind of made a lot of people wonder, like, what happened to the good old days? I want things to go back to normal. I want everything to be how it used to be. But in this world and just in our lives as Christians, things should change. It shouldn't stay the same. You shouldn't be stagnant. Hopefully things are changing because you are growing in the Lord. And I was thinking about this because I had a conversation with a friend on the phone a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about seasons of life and how we would love for our high seasons and the blessed seasons to last a long time. But then when you have like a season of wilderness or a season of lack, you're like, when is this over? And why is that? Why does it feel like the blessed seasons are maybe short and the hard seasons are long? And it's obviously because we want things to go well. There's like a saying, time flies when you're having fun. And I've definitely seen that in my life where there's certain years where I'm like, that 2 years felt like 7 years. And then there's times where it's like that 3 years felt like 6 months because everything seemed to be falling into place. Everything seemed to be going my way. But I think for me, what has helped a lot and what I've just kind of tried to focus on through good times and bad is, what is God doing in this season? In what ways am I supposed to change or grow or learn in this season? And then any season, whether it feels good or whether it feels bad, if you think of it that way, it kind of makes sense and it gives purpose to those times, and you don't feel like this was time wasted. And then there's shame attached to it. There's regret attached to it. I mean, tell me in the comments if you've ever been through hard times and you feel like, I should have handled that better. I could have avoided that. And then you just feel like, man, all these mistakes I could have made or I could have not made, and it could have saved me some trouble. But we are human and we don't know everything. And there's something my husband says that I actually really like, because a lot of people say hindsight is 20/20. And it's like, not really, because you only know based on the things that you've done, based on the things that did happen. We don't know, like, based on decisions we haven't made, what could have changed. So maybe you could have done things differently, but would it have solved the problem? Would it have helped you to be way further along? Or could it have just been similar, where you just faced different trials, you just faced different hardships? And so I wanted you guys to think about a few different things, like, because I was actually in the shower and I was thinking about some questions to ask, because I'm like, what are some things that would be important to ask the Lord or to journal out, no matter if you're in a good season or a bad season, that will help you in your walk with God? Because I feel like we should continue to be maturing and growing. If you've stayed stagnant and you've always been the same in your Christian walk, there's deeper levels of faith, deeper levels of knowing God. There's just so much more growth that can happen if we're not just like, well, we checked off this list of reading our Bible, we checked off this list of doing good things. Like, we should be knowing more and understanding more about our purpose and our calling and why God designed us and what we're here on earth to do. So here's 4 questions that came to mind when I was thinking about this. So number 1, whether it is a good season or what feels like a bad season, one thing that you can ask yourself is, what have I learned through this? Because that is something that helped me so much, because in my past, there have been times where I've had a tendency toward feeling regret or feeling ashamed or feeling like I could have done this better and just really being hard on myself. But if I think of like, okay, I went through this thing and it was kind of hard, but what did I learn from it? What did I learn that I will never do again? What did I learn where I could handle future situations differently? What did I learn about myself and about God that can help me in future times, good or bad, as a person? Another thing is, how have I changed for the better? Like I said, even if you made the worst mistakes, it was the worst season of your life, you were doing, bad thing after bad thing, mistake after mistake. How have I changed for the better? In good times and in bad, how has this good time helped me in maybe being more compassionate, more empathetic, more giving out of the abundance of what God gave me? Help me to understand my calling better because I have more clarity. Just different things like that. How has this helped me to serve God and others better? Like I mentioned, if you're growing in compassion, if you're growing in wisdom and understanding, even if it's from a mistake. We hope that we don't always learn from mistakes, but we can learn from doing the right thing. But even if it is learning from a mistake, how has this helped me to serve God better? How has it helped me to grow in understanding and to know more about myself, know more about my weak areas, know what I need to be praying for in order to have breakthrough, in order to change, those kind of things. And then lastly, how have I seen God show up for me in this season? So good and bad seasons, God is showing up. He is there. I know people talk about like, oh, God is silent. God is not silent. God is never silent. We have the Holy Spirit inside of us. God is always speaking to us. It might not be what we want to hear, and it might not be the answers that we want right now, this minute, but He is speaking to us because He wants us to know the information that we need in order to do what He's called us to do. So how have I seen God show up for me in this season? Even when I was lacking, maybe someone helped me and they gave me groceries that I needed, or they gave me diapers and they didn't even know I needed it, or I was on their heart and they texted me and they said they were praying for me. How has God shown up where, I was looking for a job, it may have taken 6 months, something came through? How did God show up when this breakup happened with my boyfriend, and He helped me to stay strong? He helped me to get through it. He helped me to realize I wasn't the only one. He helped me to realize how my life was maybe better because this person wasn't for me, that I wasn't supposed to marry them. So there's so many things that we can think of in different times. It's like, I just want to encourage you guys, learn from seasons, learn from life, keep growing, keep maturing, keep changing, and keep clinging to the Lord. Because it can be hard, with the wrong perspective. Sometimes I've gotten in a mood where I'm just like, this is terrible, and when is God going to come through, and when is this going to change? And like, we all have our down and our negative days, but I try to have the perspective of like, no matter what, the good times don't last forever, the bad times won't last forever. What is happening today? What can I focus on today in order to have hope and have joy and to still live in freedom and not allow the enemy to for my mind to just be his playground of all these lies and all this torment? So this is a scripture I wanted to bring up because I thought it was very relevant for it. And it's John 16:33. It says, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world. So God promises two things. One is that in this world, we will have trouble. We live in a fallen world. That is what it is. We will experience down times and valley seasons. But He says, I've told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In Jesus Christ, you may have peace. In the Lord's presence, you may have peace. So no matter what is going on, because some people do still get stressed even about good things, like, oh, so much is happening, it's so many things, so many opportunities. And I had this too, where I had some things, some opportunities, and I was like, this is great, but it's hard and it's a lot of work and it's kind of stressing me out. And so no matter what, it's like we focus on the Lord and we can have peace. So that's the main thing I wanted to say to you guys today. I hope you like this bite-sized faith. It's a little bit longer. It's like over 8 minutes now than what I anticipated saying, but I just wanted to get this out there. I haven't had some videos come out in a little while because my daughter just had her 9th birthday. We were celebrating that for days, and I have been posting on Instagram every day, and Instagram has been giving me hard times because of how they change things. And it's just not always the easiest app to work with. So if you're missing me, I am on Instagram right now for the whole month of July 2023. And then when I can and when I feel led to, I'll be here on YouTube giving you guys encouragement. And I hope this hurts. I do not hope this hurts. I hope this helps y'all. And if it has, and if you have any additional advice, or if you even have prayer requests, I would love to talk to you in the comments and see what your thoughts are. All right, you guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.